The waiter was looking at me. I was standing at the counter holding the menu and I could not decide. My hands felt a little cold. The restaurant was loud, and someone was standing very close behind me. "Take your time," the waiter said. He smiled and walked away. I felt relief. I took a slow breath. I thought, okay, I can relax. I have time. But something felt off. Before I tell you what happened next, if you enjoy real English stories like this, you can subscribe to the channel. Because that moment, it did not go the way I expected. My name is Lena. I am from Munich, in Germany. I came to New York for the first time in my life. It was something I wanted for a long time. I saved money for 2 years. I planned everything carefully. I wanted to see the city, walk the streets, eat in real American places, and, most important, speak English with real people. That last part made me nervous. In Germany, I studied English in school. I could read well. I could understand some movies. But speaking was different. When I spoke, I always felt slow. I searched for words. I sometimes forgot simple things. And when someone spoke fast, I missed pieces of what they said. I smiled and nodded, but inside, I was lost. Before New York, I practiced. I listened to podcasts. I repeated sentences in my apartment. I stood in front of my mirror and said things like, "Excuse me, can I have the check?" And, "Where is the nearest subway station?" I felt a little silly, but I wanted to be ready. The first 2 days in New York were hard, but okay. I ordered coffee. I bought a subway card. A man on the street asked me for directions, and I answered. My words were simple, but he understood me. I walked back to my hotel feeling good. Not fluent, not confident, but okay. I thought, maybe I can do this. Then came the 3rd day, and the restaurant. I found the place by accident. I was walking near Midtown and I saw a line of people outside. In Germany, when there is a line, it usually means something is worth it. I joined the line. I waited 15 minutes. I watched people go inside. When I entered, the restaurant was smaller than I expected. It was very busy. There were tables close together, people talking loudly, plates moving fast. The smell was good, bread and something warm. A young woman with a dark braid pointed to the counter. "Order up here," she said quickly. I walked to the counter. There was a long menu on the wall above the cashier. The words were small. There were many choices. Sandwiches, wraps, soups, salads, combinations. Everything had a number. Some items had descriptions with 3 or 4 words I did not fully understand. The man at the register looked at me. He was young, maybe 25. He had a tired face but not unkind. "Ready to order?" he said. "Almost," I said. I smiled. "Sorry." "Take your time," he said. Then he turned to do something behind the counter. I looked up at the menu. I thought, good. He is not in a hurry. I can read everything. I can think. I can choose carefully. But something felt wrong. I didn't know what. I read slowly. I moved my eyes from left to right. Number 7 looked good. A turkey sandwich with something I didn't recognize. Number 12 was a soup and half sandwich combination. I wanted to understand the full menu before I chose. That was how I always did things at home. Read first, decide after. A minute passed, maybe 2. I noticed the man at the register glance at me once. I smiled. He looked back down. I kept reading. The line behind me was growing. I did not turn around. I was focused on the menu. I was still sure I had time. He said, "Take your time." He meant it, right? The noise in the restaurant felt louder. The woman with the braid passed behind me carrying plates. A phone rang somewhere. 2 people at a table laughed very hard. Everything was fast. Everything was moving. And I was still standing at the counter, staring at the wall. I finally looked behind me. There were 4 people in line. No, 5. One woman was holding a baby. One man was in a work uniform. He checked his watch. He looked at the ceiling. He looked at me. I turned back to the menu quickly. My face felt warm. I still could not decide. Number 7 or number 12? I didn't know what smoked meant in the context of the sandwich. Was it strong? Was it good? I wanted to ask, but I wasn't sure how. The waiter, the young man at the register, came back to me. He stood in front of me again. His smile was still there, but something in his voice was slightly different. "Do you know what you'd like?" he asked. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. "The turkey," he suggested. "The soup combo is also popular." Yes, I think... I stopped. I couldn't finish. The words were somewhere inside me, but they didn't come. I looked at the menu again, then back at him, then at the menu. "Take your time," he said again. But this time it sounded different. It sounded like, "Please hurry." That was when everything changed. I felt my heart beat faster. The man in the work uniform made a small sound. Not loud, just a breath or maybe a word under his breath. I didn't hear it clearly, but I felt it. I stepped to the side. I didn't plan to. My body moved before my brain decided. I said, "Sorry, one moment, sorry." And I stepped out of the line completely. I stood near the wall. I held the small paper menu that was on the counter. My face was hot. My hands were not cold anymore. They were warm now, and a little shaky. I stared at the paper. But I wasn't reading anymore. I was just standing there, feeling embarrassed. A woman appeared beside me. She was maybe 50 years old. She had short gray hair and a green coat. She was holding her own lunch, a soup in a paper cup. She looked at me with a calm face. "First time here?" she asked. Her voice was gentle, not loud, not fast. "Yes," I said. "Sorry, I was very slow." She smiled. "Don't worry about it, it happens." I looked down. The man said, "Take your time." I thought he meant, really take time. But everyone was waiting. I didn't understand. She nodded slowly. "Ah," she said. "Yeah, that phrase is tricky." I looked at her. "Tricky?" I said. I wasn't sure of the word. "Difficult," she said. "A little confusing." She paused. When someone says, "Take your time here," they're being polite. But it doesn't mean there's no pressure. It just means they're not going to say, "Hurry up," to your face. I stood still for a moment. I repeated it in my head. "So, it is polite," I said, "but it is not really free time." "Exactly," she said. She smiled again. It was a warm smile. "It's like they're trying to be kind, but the situation is still fast. Does that make sense?" "Yes," I said, and I meant it. Something clicked inside me. A small, quiet click. In Germany, if someone says take your time, they really mean it. You can be slow. It is okay. "Not here," she said, and she laughed softly. "Not in this city." I laughed a little too. It came out small and surprised. "My English is not perfect," I said. I wanted her to know, not as an excuse, just as truth. "Your English is fine," she said. "You explained everything clearly." I looked at the menu again. My heart was slower now. My hands were steady. "Can I ask?" I said. "The number 7, the turkey sandwich. What does smoked mean here? Is it a strong taste?" "It's a little smoky, yes," she said. "Like a wood fire flavor. It's good. I like it." "Okay," I said. "I think I will try that one." She nodded. "Good choice." I walked back to the counter. The line was shorter now. The man in the work uniform was already gone. The waiter looked at me. His face was neutral. "Sorry," I said. "I am ready now. Number 7, please." "Sure," he said. He typed it in. His voice was normal again. Not cold, not warm, just regular. I paid. I stepped to the side to wait. My legs felt a little tired. The woman in the green coat passed behind me on her way to a table. She caught my eye. She gave a small nod. I gave one back. I sat down with my sandwich a few minutes later. I took a bite. It was good. Warm bread, soft turkey, and yes, a little smoky. Like the woman said. I looked around the restaurant. Everyone was moving fast, eating fast, talking fast, checking phones, standing, leaving. The whole place was in motion. And I sat there, slowly chewing, and felt something release in my chest. I had been so sure I had time. I had heard, "Take your time," and I believed it completely. Like it was a door that opened into a slow, quiet space. But the door wasn't real. The phrase was kind, but the room was still moving. I thought about all the English phrases I thought I understood. How many of them had a gap between the words and the meaning? How many times had I been standing in that gap, confused, without knowing it? I didn't feel stupid. I felt awake. Like something I couldn't see before became visible. I finished my sandwich. I folded the paper bag neatly. I put on my coat. Before I left, I looked for the woman in the green coat. She was at a small table near the window, eating alone, reading something on her phone. She didn't look up. I wanted to say thank you again, but I didn't want to bother her, so I just carried it with me. Outside, the street was loud and fast and full of people. New York was exactly what I expected, and nothing like what I expected. I walked slowly. Around me, everyone moved quickly. And for the first time since I arrived, I didn't feel afraid of that. I was still not fluent. My English was still imperfect. I still had moments when words disappeared, when I nodded and didn't fully understand, when I felt small and slow in the middle of fast conversations. But I also knew something now that I didn't know before breakfast. Some phrases are not instructions. Some phrases are just kindness wearing a costume. And to understand that, really understand it, you can't learn it from a book. You have to live it, feel it, stand in a line with warm hands and a racing heart, and figure it out on your own. I learned it in a sandwich shop in Midtown Manhattan, on a Tuesday, in front of 5 strangers. It was not a perfect moment, but it was mine. Have you ever felt pressure even when someone said, "Take your time"? Have you ever misunderstood a small phrase and felt that embarrassing moment when you realized what it really meant? If stories like this help you feel less alone when you speak English, I would love for you to subscribe. There are more stories here. Real moments, real feelings, real conversations. Not perfect, just honest. Maybe we can keep learning together.